Coming up, the COVID-19 surge forces one state back into lockdown as spikes continue here in some eastern Kentucky counties.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The coronavirus has now killed more than 135,000 people in the United States, while infecting more than 3.3 million people. Soaring COVID-19 numbers are prompting the nation's most populous state to retreat. CBS's Chris Martinez reports from Los Angeles.
The resurgence of the coronavirus has forced California back into lockdown.
We are now requiring all counties to close their indoor activities, their indoor operations.
The order applies to nearly all public spaces in the state, including bars, restaurants, gyms, and houses of worship.
It's just common sense, but the data suggests not everybody is practicing common sense.
The Los Angeles and San Diego public school districts said online learning would continue into the fall.
The school year will begin in August. It will not start with students at school facilities.
Coronavirus infections are rising in at least 40 states, especially in the South.
If it wasn't clear before, it's obvious now that having so much still open, from restaurants to all-size indoor events to water parks, is not going to turn this thing around.
Florida now has more COVID-19 cases than all but 3 countries.
Miami is now the epicenter of the pandemic. What we were seeing in Wuhan 6 months ago, 5 months ago, now we are there.
Infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci says a new approach is needed to get the outbreak under control.
We haven't even begun to see the end of it yet. You don't necessarily need to shut down again, but pull back a bit and then proceed in a very prudent way.
Dr. Fauci said he remains cautiously optimistic a vaccine will be in production by the beginning of next year. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Today, the head of the World Health Organization said, quote, "There will be no return to the old normal for the foreseeable future." Governor Beshear is urging Kentuckians to follow the mandatory mask order. That's as the state is continuing to see an increase in cases. Today, the governor announced 277 new cases. Now, that's lower because of the weekend. However, the governor expects that number to be higher tomorrow. Right now, Kentucky has 19,653 total cases, and today we learned 4 more people have died. That has Kentucky's death toll at 629. We also learned late today of a new death in Laurel County. Several law enforcement officials have tested positive in Clay County, and in Harlan County they had 19 new cases today, their highest daily total so far. New at 11, a Southern Kentucky state senator announced that he tested positive for COVID-19. State Senator Max Wise, who represents Kentucky's 16th district, released a statement earlier tonight. In it, he says he began experiencing mild symptoms late last week. The positive test results came back today. Senator Wise says he is already feeling better, but will quarantine until he is COVID-19 free. Officials in Pulaski County are working to slow the spread of the coronavirus. It comes after 7 employees tested positive at the Cracker Barrel. Health officials say it is most likely from community spread. Deputy Judge Executive Dan Price says things like this worry local officials.
That's our ultimate concern, is people's health and safety. But as that being said, I wonder if any of our employees was there. Did that create something that we have to adjust in some of our areas, road department or animal control, those sort of things, because we're adjusting every day. Over the weekend or every so often we have an employee says, hey, I've been around, or I've got to go quarantine. And so it's a challenge.
If you visited the Somerset Cracker Barrel between June 27th and July 11th, you are asked to monitor for symptoms or get tested. An appeals court judge says he will not overturn temporary restraining orders issued against Governor Beshear's executive orders. One ruling involves a Boone County daycare and a racetrack. The other stems from the lawsuit involving the Agriculture Commissioner and Evans Orchard. A Scott County judge ruled the governor's orders were unconstitutional in restricting businesses. Part of that ruling also limited the governor's ability to sign any more executive orders. Because of that ruling, Attorney General Daniel Cameron filed a motion to have that same judge weigh in on the governor's mask mandate. But the Attorney General says he does support wearing masks.
I'm wearing a mask. Most of my staff has been wearing a mask as well. I go to church, there's mask. I'm complying with the mask when we go into restaurants and in stores. But I'll let Judge Privet make a determination about whether the mandate should be upheld.
Hearings on both rulings will be held on Thursday.
We saw the sunshine today. Temperatures very comfortable out there, but heading into the next couple of days, we're going to start to warm up quite a bit. We'll take you up to that Pikeville camera where you could see the beautiful sunshine, and we saw really those clouds move out of here, saw a gorgeous sunset as well, and we're looking at a pretty nice evening out there. Feeling very comfortable. Actually just let JoJo out a few minutes ago, and it felt great out there. 68 degrees right now in Williamsburg, feeling like 68 with those dew points into about those low to mid 60s. Temperatures across the area still near 75 degrees in Jackson, 72 in London. A lot of us, though, dropping in the 60s from Harlan to Hazard, even down into Williamsburg and over into parts of Monticello. Satellite and radar has been very, very quiet, and this trend's really going to continue heading into the next couple of days. We'll be on a drier trend, but with that drier trend comes a warming trend. So tonight we'll actually drop kind of near the mid 60s. Some spots might even be in the lower 60s. Mostly clear skies, a little bit of some patchy fog definitely possible for tonight. More sunshine's though in store over the next several days along with that drier weather, but we will be tracking a heat wave by the middle and end of the week that'll bring some pretty hot temperatures back to the mountains. I'll have more details on that coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. We're just days into the governor's mandatory mask mandate in Kentucky, and it marked the first weekend bars would have to enforce the new restriction. It comes during the busiest time for those businesses. Shelby Smithson talked to one bar owner to find out how the first weekend of the mandate went.
Since reopening at the end of June, wearing a face mask inside Bluegrass Tavern was always optional for customers. But that changed Friday with Governor Andy Beshear's statewide mask order.
Prior to the mandate, it was probably 85% were coming in without a mask. Either they'd have it on with them, but they would just instantly take it off the second they walked in just to be able to talk to the bartender. So it's completely changed.
Fortunately for Ebbett, the change came with little to no pushback. He says since Friday, he's had zero problems with customers refusing to wear a face mask.
There's just been a few people who either forgot to wear a mask or maybe weren't aware of how the mandate was taking place at that time. We've been actually selling masks for $1 for the very few people that have forgotten.
While they may not be the most comfortable accessory to wear while going out, Ebbett says they have been a huge comfort to him and his staff.
For us, the repercussions, if someone comes in here unknowingly, they have it and pass it on to one of the staff members, we have to shut down, and there's, a big financial impact and just, health impact for everyone that works here.
It's an extra shot of safety that seems to be easily taken by bartenders and customers. In Lexington, Shelby Smithson, WYMT Mountain News.
Customers can remove their masks once they are seated on the patio, but just have to put it back on to walk inside to order a drink. During the pandemic, we have seen a shortage in everyday supplies and food, from toilet paper to meat. Now a new shortage, coins. With a temporary shutdown of U.S. Mint and a decrease in spending during the pandemic, fewer coins are in circulation. Banks are having a hard time keeping coins in stock, even limiting the amount a business can purchase. Pantry Shelf and Hazard is feeling those impacts.
Last week, my bank, my local bank, told me that they are limited in small coin right now. Now, we're not talking quarters, and she didn't really tell me dimes either, but now I am limited, as far as I know right now, to $5 worth of pennies a week. We go through $5 of pennies a day.
Brotherton says most of her regular customers pay with coins, so she hopes that will help even the shortage out. Bank officials tell us if you have coins, you can exchange them for cash at a local bank and try to pay in exact change when shopping. A Pikeville woman is wanted in connection to the presumed death of a man who went missing last month. Last week, we told you about a burned out car and human remains, which have yet to be identified, found in the Robinson Creek area. The car belonged to the father of Wesley Hook of Pike County, who was last seen on June 10th. The woman, Crystal Williams, this woman is wanted in connection with the arson. If you have any information on Williams's whereabouts, you should call Pikeville Police. Knox County deputies arrested a Pineville man on meth trafficking charges over the weekend. Deputies say this man, 29-year-old Jacob Slusher, was found with 3 pounds of methamphetamine in his car during a traffic stop. The drugs were worth around $30,000. Slusher was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell stopped at 3 area hospitals today. He stopped at Baptist Health Corbin, St. Joseph in London, and Rockcastle Regional Hospital. The senator showed his appreciation for frontline healthcare workers and talked about the importance and impact of the CARES Act, which provided Baptist Health Corbin with nearly $10 million. McConnell also mentioned the importance of wearing a mask.
Believe me, the coronavirus is not involved in American politics, has no involvement in American politics. But we have an obligation as individuals to try to protect ourselves and protect others.
McConnell also mentioned the possibility of an additional relief package that he says will ensure to include liability protection for everyone related to the virus, while also emphasizing kids, jobs, and health care. Community action agencies are now accepting applications for a new initiative, the LIHEAP Summer Cooling Program. The Home Energy Assistance focuses on helping those with high electric bills. The program was created to try and help folks during the pandemic. It is designed to offset the cost of those higher bills due to rising temperatures. Traditionally, applications are done in person, but with the coronavirus, there are some changes.
They can take pictures of their documentation or hold it up to the screen and we can snapshot it so that they don't even have to come into the office to complete the application.
Those meetings are done using Zoom, or you can drop your application off at a drop box at your local community action agency, and you can call any of those community action agencies for more information. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, one-on-one with Governor Andy Beshear on where we stand now in the fight against COVID-19.
And we'll see more sunshine tomorrow, but temperatures will be on the rise. I'll have those details coming up.